Hello, dear students. We are doing Unit 2 Motions of the Earth in Social Science. We already started with this chapter, and first part of the chapter's explanation is over. Now we will move ahead with the second part. Now, before moving forward, let's do a quick recap. We studied that the Earth, Moon, and Sun, the Moon and Earth, are constantly in motion, and the two basic motions are rotation and revolution. Rotation is when the Earth rotates on its imaginary axis, that is rotation. It takes 24 hours to complete one rotation, and because of this motion of the Earth, we have day and night. The speed of rotation at any point along the equator is approximately 1670 kilometers per hour. And then we also studied that because of this, the region which gets the sun rays has day and the region which does not get has night. Then we studied about revolution. The earth takes 365 days to complete one revolution around the sun. This is called the year, or to be precise, it takes 365 days and 6 hours to complete one revolution. While it revolves, the speed is approximately 1780 kilometers, but it also revolves on its imaginary fixed path, which is called its orbit. And this orbit is not round, but it is oval. And as it is oval, the distance from the sun and earth, the distance from earth to sun is not same, and hence we have different seasons. Then we studied that the earth makes an angle of 23 degree 50 minutes to its axis and 66 degree 50 minutes to its orbit. The tilting of the earth on its axis causes the varying lengths of day and night and also change in seasons. And then we studied about the circle of illumination or the Prakashvartud, the line that separates the lighter from the darker half of the earth and joins the two poles is called the circle of illumination. And after that we studied about the varying lengths of days and nights. Now we will be studying about the seasons. Seasons. The earth rotates on its axis in the same direction while revolving around the sun on its orbit. Due to this, the North Pole faces the sun at regular intervals. The rays of the sun fall vertically either on north or south of the equator. This causes variation in the length of days and nights. Those parts of the earth which receive more sunlight experience summer, while those that receive less sunlight experience winter. The northern hemisphere experiences summer in the period between 21st March to 21st September, while it is winter in the southern hemisphere during that period. The change of seasons is a phenomenon that directly affects human life. Now let's study about the seasons in the northern hemisphere. India is in the northern hemisphere, so we know the seasons: summer, winter, and monsoon. And in other countries, we have summer, winter, autumn, and spring. So, how does the seasons happen? When the earth is closer to the sun and the sun rays are falling vertically, at that time we have more of sun rays and that causes summer. Whereas the exact opposite of it. It never happens that the sun rays are falling vertically in the northern as well as in the southern hemisphere. It can either be in the northern hemisphere or in the southern hemisphere. So when there is summer in the northern hemisphere, in the southern hemisphere it will be its opposite. It will be winter and vice versa. So this causes the seasons. Let's see a diagram showing explaining this. Let's have a look at the revolution of the earth with the months. Let's start from 21st June. It has the longest day. Now think of it from the northern hemisphere. You can see the equator, the Tropic of Cancer, the Arctic Circle, Tropic of Capricorn, and the Antarctic Circle. 21st June has the longest day. The sun rays are falling vertically in the northern hemisphere and they are having longer days and shorter nights. and 21st June is the date of summer solstice, or we can also say the longest day. After that, the days are decreasing. The days are getting shorter. It continues till July, August, September, and then it's the time of equinox or equal day and night. After that, after equinox, the days are still getting shorter, and we have the shortest day in December, where 22nd December, it is winter solstice or the shortest day and longest night. After that, the days start getting longer, and we reach till March, where we have equal day and night or March equinox. After the solstices, we can also consider the dakshinayan and uttarayan, which we have studied last year. It has the same cycle from solstice to solstice, and in between we get the equinox. This causes the seasons, and if there is summer in the northern hemisphere, there will be winter in the southern hemisphere. Not the extreme ones, but there will be like the beginning or the end of that season. So this way is how the seasons happen. From 22nd December, after the shortest day, the sun rays will start falling vertically in the northern hemisphere, hence the duration of the day will increase, or we can also say, as the sun rays have started falling in the north of the hemisphere or of the equator in the northern hemisphere in the uttar direction, hence the uttarayan will begin, and after 21st June the sun rays will start falling in the southern hemisphere, in the south of the equator, the dakshin. Hence, the dakshinayan begins. List of some festivals and the seasons of their celebration is given below. The celebration in India. When we celebrate a particular festival here, name the season experienced at that same time in a different country. Find out and complete the table. Now here we have a list of festival and seasons in India, and we have to see the seasons in other countries. Now, how will we know about this? We can't just directly Google like when it is Holi in India, which season is there in Kenya. But we can find this based on their location, whether it is near the equator or farther than it, whether it is in the northern hemisphere or it is in southern hemisphere, whether it is close to the North Pole or the South Pole. So based on this, we will get the idea. Now, first festival is Holi. We know Holi comes during the month of summer, and it is generally in the month of March. So that is the time when Kenya is also in the northern hemisphere, same as India, and even it is not close to the Arctic circles and Arctic or Antarctic circle, but it is closer to the equator. So Kenya also faces summer like India. Next is Australia. Australia is in the southern hemisphere. So if there is summer in India, there will be not actually winter, but there will be end of summer. In March, summer will be at its peak, or it is beginning in India, but in Australia it will be ending, or we can say there will be beginning of autumn in Australia. Next festival is Diwali. Now Diwali we know comes during the months of November or the end of October or so. So let's keep November, and at that time we are having winter. Now Japan, even it is in northern hemisphere, but we have to say its location from the equator as well. So for Japan we can say that Japan will be having autumn. And Canada is also in the northern hemisphere, but it is too far from the equator, and hence though it is winter there, but it will be like freezing or the winter at its peak. So there will be around minus 15 degrees Celsius or so temperature. Again, Christmas, even that is, we know Christmas is in the month of December, and it is like full to winter mode, like chilling. USA will also have winter because even that is in the northern hemisphere. China will also have winter. Sun at midnight. In the European nation of Norway, the sun does not set from mid-May to the end of July. This means that sunrise and sunset are simultaneous, so the sun is seen even at midnight. Imagine it's 12 a.m. at night or 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. when it's like pitch dark and we can hardly see if it is not a full moon. It is the time of midnight in India. But at that time, in the European nation of Norway, from the month mid-May to the end of July, at that time, even at midnight, you can see the sun. Let's see the picture for it. How can there be sun at midnight? But still, this phenomena happens in Norway. Let's see the picture. The first picture is of sun at 6 p.m. Then in between we have the sun at midnight. And the last one is at sun at 6 a.m. This is how the sky of Norway looks from mid-May to the July. Like it does not have a night. This it's the region where sun does not set. What can be the reason behind this? Let's have a look at it. This is how the angle of the earth is during those months. As the earth is tilted, the region above the Arctic Circle, that's where we have Norway, that has continuous sun rays. The sun rays are always falling there, hence they do not get midnight from the month of July, August and September. Call that summer. The days are longer and nights are shorter, creating a warmer temperature for that time. While Whereas in the southern hemisphere it is winter. It will be its opposite. The longest day of the earth is in the north is June 21. We call it summer solstice. We know that. Now the North Pole gets 24 hours of daylight and the South Pole gets 0 hours of daylight during our summer solstice. During that period, we studied the example of Norway. This is what happens there. Same way there is a region where of Sweden or the other regions above the Arctic Circle and below the Antarctic Circle. They face this same kind of thing. Now, students, after this the chapter gets over and we have exercises. But below that we have been given the things to know. The things which I have already explained, but still, in short, what we can say about this. Now, this is the concept of uttarayan and dakshinayan or of solstices. So, let's start with the December or 21-22 winter solstice, or we can also say the time where we have the shortest day. After getting the shortest day, the days start getting longer and they reach to a point where we have equal day and night, where we have equinox, the spring equinox from March 20 or 2021, that depends. So we have the spring equinox at that time, and then the days are still getting longer to the time where we have the longest day, June 20, 21 or 22. That is the day of summer solstice, and after that the days start getting shorter because the sun rays start falling vertically in the south or in the dakshin of the equator. Hence it is dakshinayan. Till the time there we get the autumn equinox, where the day and night are equal, and then it still gets getting shorter till the time where we have the shortest day, again the winter solstice. So this is how, when the sun rays start falling vertically to the north of the equator, when the sun rays, because of this the days start getting longer, and we have uttarayan, to the time where we get the longest day. After that the sun rays start falling to the south of the equator, which causes the days to get smaller, and that is the dakshinayan. Then the circle of illumination or the Prakashvartul, the line that divides the earth into a lighted half and a darkened half, the line which joins from the North Pole to the South Pole. This line is the circle of illumination. Celsius. Celsius is a unit of measurement of temperature. It is named after the Swedish astronomer Anders Celsius, 1701 to 1744. Here we have the picture of Anders Celsius, who invented the unit for measurement of temperature. So with this, the chapter 2, the motions of the earth, gets over, and we'll be doing the exercises in the next class. We have very few questions which you will be answering, but the objectives will be asked during the class tests. So be prepared. I hope the concepts are clear and you guys will do well. So that's all for today. Bye.